welcome to the Red Dice Diaries, and I was informed of the concept of the RPGaDay 2015 by watching Rhaegar the Dragonborn's video on the subject, which you can see a link to down there. Recommend you give them a watch. And there's a whole wide gamut of people, both in the brigade and without, who have been making videos along this line, and I think it's a great idea to get people talking, to compare favourite games, to hopefully maybe even educate people as to games they haven't come across before. Now, I've got on the bandwagon with this a little bit late, as it's the 4th of August while I'm recording this now, and you're supposed to be doing a video a day. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and do a couple a day, or 2-3 a day maybe, depending on how my free time is, to bring me back up to speed, and then I'll be ticking over with the one video a day. And these are just going to be short and sweet videos. So I've already rambled on enough. I'm going to get on with the first question. The first question being what is the forthcoming game you're most looking forward to? And I would say, without a shadow of a doubt, the forthcoming actual game, which I presume it means a game system rather than a supplement for an existing game system, the forthcoming game that I'm most looking forward to is Force and Destiny from Fantasy Flight Games, and this is the latest in their series of Star Wars RPGs. You may or may not be aware that I'm running a Star Wars Edge of the Empire game called Terror on the Outer Rim, which you can see by clicking there, and they've already brought out 2 books which both can function entirely independently of each other. One is Edge of the Empire, where you play the sort of bounty hunters, the independents and the scum of the universe, and the other is Age of Rebellion, where obviously you play the rebellion fighting against the oppressive forces of the Empire. However, in both books, although there are sort of small nods towards the Force and playing Force sensitive people, there isn't really a great deal of coverage on them, and that's quite intentional, since that's not the main focus of those 2 games. However, the Force and the Jedi and Force users, Sith, whatever you want to call them, are almost as eponymous with Star Wars as is doing the sound that lightsabers make. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how Fantasy Flight Games actually portray the Force users, and whether they delve into other Force using traditions as opposed to just the big 2, the Jedi and the Sith, since assuming it's still set within the sort of the classic trilogy era as the previous 2 games have been, the Jedi are pretty much entirely wiped out, and there's only 2 real Sith, Darth Vader and Darth Sidious, about. So I presume they must actually reach into these other traditions, and that's something I'm very intrigued to look into. After all, I can't believe in a galaxy as wide and vast as the Star Wars universe that there are only 2 different ways of using the Force. And certainly I know, having watched the animated Clone Wars series recently, that hints at other Force using traditions. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that, as well as how they balance these more adept Force users with the other 2 game systems, since at the minute the game systems are entirely interchangeable. You could bring Rebel heroes into an Age of Empire game and vice versa, and I hope that will carry on with Force and Destiny. So either way, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know it's actually out now, so it's not forthcoming in that sense, but I'm still waiting on my copy from Amazon as of the time of recording, so it's still forthcoming to me, and I can't wait to get my greedy mitts on it. So that's my first RPGaDay 2015 video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.